The conference room fell silent. Marcus Hayes froze mid-motion, his cleaning rag still pressed against the mahogany table. Every executive in their tailored suits turned toward him. The janitor in the faded blue uniform, who'd just interrupted the most important negotiation in the company's history. CEO. Victoria Langston's ice-blue eyes narrowed. "Excuse me?" Marcus's heart hammered. He shouldn't have spoken. He was invisible here. Just another shadow that mopped floors after midnight. Another face that didn't deserve to be seen. But the translator had gotten it wrong. Completely wrong. And if no one corrected it, this deal would collapse. And hundreds of jobs would disappear, including his. "I'm sorry, ma'am," Marcus said quietly, his calloused hands tightening around the spray bottle. "But that's not what Mr. Tanaka said." The Japanese investor leaned forward, curiosity flickering across his weathered face. The translator, a smug man in an expensive suit, scoffed. "I've been interpreting for 15 years. I don't need corrections from the cleaning staff." Victoria raised one perfectly manicured hand. "Wait." She studied Marcus with the sharp gaze of someone who'd built an empire by reading people. "What did he say?" Marcus swallowed. His daughter Lily's face flashed through his mind. Her smile at breakfast that morning. The way she'd hugged him before school, whispering, "I love you, Daddy," like she did every day since her mother left them 3 years ago. He needed this job. He couldn't afford to lose it, but he also couldn't stay silent when he knew the truth. "Mr. Tanaka didn't say your proposal was interesting," Marcus said, his voice steadier now. "He said it was incomplete. There's a difference. In Japanese, omoshiroi can mean interesting, but in business context, when paired with that tone and body language, it means he sees gaps. He's not impressed. He's hesitant." The room erupted in whispers. The translator's face flushed red. "That's absurd." Mr. Tanaka spoke again, rapid Japanese filling the tense air. Marcus understood every word. The translator stammered, clearly struggling. "He's asking," Marcus said softly, "if you even understand what his company values. He says respect isn't found in numbers alone. It's in understanding." Victoria stood slowly, her expression unreadable. She walked toward Marcus, her heels clicking against the marble floor like a countdown. When she reached him, she didn't look angry. She looked fascinated. How does a janitor speak fluent Japanese? Marcus's jaw tightened. The answer was buried in pain, in a life he'd left behind, in dreams that died the day his wife walked out, leaving him with a 6-year-old daughter and nothing but debt. He'd been a linguistics professor once. He'd taught at universities. He'd translated novels, traveled the world. Then everything fell apart. "I just picked it up," he lied. But Victoria Langston didn't become a CEO by accepting lies. She studied him like a puzzle she intended to solve, and something in her eyes shifted. Recognition, perhaps, or respect. "Stay," she commanded. Not a request, an order. Marcus glanced at the door, at his cleaning cart, at the life he'd built from ruins. He thought of Lily waiting at home, of the small apartment they shared, of the bills stacked on the kitchen counter, and he stayed. Mr. Tanaka smiled for the first time that evening and spoke directly to Marcus, bypassing the humiliated translator entirely. "He wants to know your name," Marcus translated for himself, meeting the investor's eyes. "And he wants to know if you're the one he should be negotiating with." Victoria's lips curved into something dangerous and intriguing. "Let's find out." 2 hours later, the deal was saved. Marcus stood in the now empty boardroom, his hands still trembling slightly. Mr. Tanaka had left smiling, contract signed, promising future partnerships. The other executives had filed out, whispering and casting curious glances at the janitor, who'd somehow become the hero of the night. Only Victoria remained. She sat at the head of the table, fingers steepled, watching Marcus as he instinctively began collecting coffee cups and straightening chairs. Old habits. "Stop cleaning," she said. Marcus froze. "Sit." He hesitated, then slowly lowered himself into a leather chair that probably cost more than his monthly rent. Victoria slid a tablet across the table toward him. On the screen was his personnel file, basic information, emergency contacts, hire date, and below that, search results. News articles from 7 years ago, academic journals, a faculty photo from Columbia University. His old life exposed. Dr. Marcus Hayes, Victoria read aloud. Ph.D. in comparative linguistics. Former associate professor. Published author. Fluent in 7 languages. She looked up. So why are you mopping my floors? Marcus's throat constricted. That person doesn't exist anymore. Why? The question hung between them like a blade. Marcus stared at his rough hands. Hands that once held delicate manuscripts. That once typed brilliant papers. That now smelled of bleach and carried the ache of manual labor. My wife left, he said finally, each word costing him. She took everything. Drained our accounts, disappeared with her new boyfriend. Left me with our daughter and a mountain of debt she'd secretly accumulated. I lost our house. My career fell apart trying to be a single parent. No university wants a professor who can't commit to evening lectures because he has to pick up his kid from daycare. Victoria's expression softened almost imperceptibly. So you gave it all up? I chose Lily over my career, Marcus corrected, a fierce pride in his voice despite the pain, every time. I'd choose her 1,000 times more. For the first time that night, Victoria smiled, genuinely smiled. I believe you. She stood and walked to the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the glittering city. Marcus could see her reflection in the glass, and something in her posture spoke of loneliness, of battles fought in boardrooms and behind closed doors. I need a new head of international relations, Victoria said abruptly, someone who understands not just language but culture, someone who won't just translate words but meaning. She turned to face him. Someone like you. Marcus's heart stopped. Ms. Langston, I'm a janitor. You're a linguist pretending to be a janitor, she interrupted. There's a difference. Her eyes locked onto his, intense and unwavering. I'm offering you a position. Full benefits. Salary that's, let's say, significantly more than you're making now. Schedule flexible enough for a single parent. It sounded like a dream. Too perfect. Too impossible. Why? Marcus asked suspiciously. You don't know me. I know enough. Victoria moved closer and Marcus caught the faint scent of expensive perfume. I know you had the courage to speak up when staying silent would have been safer. I know you value integrity over self-preservation. And I know what it's like to rebuild from nothing. Something flickered in her eyes. A shadow. A memory, pain carefully hidden beneath armor. I know what it's like, she repeated quietly. Because 15 years ago, I was sleeping in my car with a newborn daughter, trying to figure out how to survive. Marcus stared at her, this powerful woman in designer clothes, this CEO of a billion-dollar corporation, and saw past the armor to the single mother she'd once been. You have a daughter? He asked softly. Had. Victoria's voice cracked just barely. Emma. She was killed by a drunk driver 8 years ago. She was 7. The grief in those words hit Marcus like a physical blow. Suddenly, Victoria Langston wasn't just his boss. She was a parent who understood loss, who knew the fierce, desperate love that makes you sacrifice everything. I'm sorry, Marcus whispered. Victoria nodded, composing herself with visible effort. Take the job, Marcus. Let me help you rebuild. Let me give Lily the stability she deserves. She paused. And maybe teach me Japanese. I clearly need better translators. Despite everything, Marcus laughed. A real, surprised laugh that felt foreign after years of just surviving. When do I start? Monday, 9 a.m. Victoria extended her hand. Welcome to Langston Industries, Dr. Hayes. Marcus shook her hand, feeling the calluses on her palm that matched his own. Warriors, both of them. Survivors. Thank you, he said, meaning it with every broken, hopeful piece of his heart. He left the building that night not as a janitor, but as something new, something he'd forgotten he could be, someone with a future. Lily screamed with joy when Marcus told her, Daddy, does this mean we can get the art supplies I wanted? And maybe go to the aquarium. Marcus knelt down, pulling his 8-year-old daughter into his arms, breathing in the strawberry scent of her shampoo. Yes, sweetheart. We can do those things. She pulled back, her brown eyes, so like his own, shining with hope that broke and healed his heart simultaneously. Does this mean you won't be tired all the time anymore? The question gutted him. He hadn't realized she'd noticed, that she'd been watching him drag himself through exhaustion, working double shifts just to keep them fed and housed. I'll be home more. he promised. We'll have dinner together. Real dinners, not just takeout. Lily hugged him tighter. I don't care about dinners, Daddy. I just want you to smile again. Like you used to. Marcus's eyes burned. When had he stopped smiling? When had survival replaced living? That weekend he took Lily shopping for new school clothes. Not from the thrift store, but from actual stores with bright lights and price tags that didn't make him wince. She twirled in a new dress, giggling, and Marcus felt something shift in his chest. Hope. That dangerous, fragile thing he'd learned not to trust. Monday arrived with nervous energy. Marcus wore a suit he'd pulled from the back of his closet, slightly outdated but clean and pressed. Lily insisted on walking him to the bus stop, her small hand in his. You look like a superhero. Daddy, she said seriously. Superheroes wear capes. Kiddo. No, Lily corrected with the absolute certainty only children possess. Superheroes are people who don't give up. Like you. Marcus kissed the top of her head, emotions threatening to overwhelm him. I love you, Lily Bear. Love you, infinity. Their sacred exchange, unchanged since she was 3 years old. At Langston Industries, everything felt different. People looked at him now, actually saw him. His new office had windows overlooking the city. A desk, a nameplate that read Dr. Marcus Hayes, Director of International Relations at Victoria, appeared in his doorway at 10 a.m. Looking regal in a charcoal suit, settling in. Still feels surreal, Marcus admitted. Good, I need you slightly off balance. She smirked. Keeps you sharp. Her expression turned serious. I have your first assignment. There's a merger negotiation in Seoul next month. I need you to lead it. Marcus's eyes widened. Lead it. I've been here 3 hours. And you saved a $15 million deal in 3 minutes last week. Victoria crossed her arms. I trust competence, Marcus. Not tenure. Over the following weeks, Marcus discovered that Victoria Langston was unlike any boss he'd ever had. She was demanding but fair, sharp but surprisingly vulnerable in private moments. She asked about Lily constantly, remembered details, even sent small gifts, art supplies, books, a stuffed otter because Marcus mentioned Lily loved them. You don't have to do that, Marcus said one evening, finding a beautifully wrapped package on his desk. I know. Victoria's voice was soft, but Emma loved gifts. She loved being thought of. She cleared her throat. And Lily reminds me of her, bright, curious, too smart for her own good. Marcus watched her carefully. Do you want to meet her? Victoria looked startled, then wary. I don't want to intrude. You're not intruding. Marcus surprised himself with the offer. We're having pizza Friday night. Nothing fancy, but if you'd like to come. For a moment, Victoria looked terrified. This powerful woman who faced down corporate sharks without flinching. Then she nodded, barely perceptible. I'd like that, but what neither of them knew was that Marcus's ex-wife, Diane, had seen the news articles about his promotion. And she was coming back, not for him, for Lily, and for a piece of the life she'd abandoned. Friday evening, Victoria arrived at Marcus's modest apartment with flowers and a nervous smile. Lily opened the door, eyes going wide. You're the pretty CEO lady from Daddy's phone. Victoria laughed. A genuine surprised sound. And you must be the famous Lily I've heard so much about. Daddy says you're really smart and kind of scary. Lily! Marcus groaned from the kitchen. Victoria knelt down to Lily's level. Your daddy's right. I am scary, but only to people who deserve it. You don't have to be scared of me. Lily studied her with unnerving intensity. Did you really sleep in your car with your baby? Victoria's breath caught. Marcus must have told her. I did. That must have been really hard. It was. Victoria's voice trembled slightly. But it taught me that we're stronger than we think, and that sometimes the hardest times make us into the best versions of ourselves. Lily nodded solemnly, then threw her arms around Victoria's neck in an impulsive hug. Victoria stiffened, then slowly, carefully hugged back. When Marcus saw them, he had to turn away, throat tight. They ate pizza on mismatched plates, laughed at Lily's jokes, and for one evening, felt like something neither had dared name, a family. But outside, a car sat idling in the darkness. Diane Hayes watched through the window, her expression calculating. She'd made a mistake leaving. But mistakes could be corrected, and she always got what she wanted in the end. The papers arrived on a Tuesday. Marcus stared at the custody petition in disbelief, his hands shaking so badly he nearly dropped the documents. Diane was suing for full custody of Lily, claiming he was an unfit parent due to his previous financial instability, and demanding back payment of child support. Support she'd never asked for, never needed, because she'd been the one to abandon them. "This can't be legal," Marcus whispered. His lawyer, a tired-looking woman in a coffee-stained blouse, sighed. "Unfortunately, it is. Your ex-wife has remarried. Her new husband is wealthy. They have a house in the suburbs, stability, two-parent household." She trailed off at Marcus's devastated expression. "I'm sorry, Dr. Hayes. Courts often favor the parent who can provide more material advantages." "Material advantages?" Marcus's voice rose. "I'm her father. I've been there every day for 3 years. Every nightmare, every fever, every parent-teacher conference. Diane hasn't called once. Not once, I know. And we'll fight this. But you need to prepare yourself. These cases can go either way." Marcus barely made it through the workday. Victoria found him in his office at 7 p.m., staring blankly at his computer screen. "Marcus?" She entered without waiting for permission. Concern etched on her face. "You missed the 4 o'clock meeting. That's not like you." He wordlessly handed her the custody papers. Victoria read them, her expression darkening with each line. "This is absurd. She abandoned you both. Legally, she didn't abandon Lily, she just left. There's a difference in court." Marcus's laugh was bitter. "And now she's back, with a rich husband and lawyers who make yours look like public defenders. She's going to take my daughter." "No." Victoria's voice was steel. "She's not. You can't. Watch me." Victoria pulled out her phone, already dialing. "I have lawyers. The best lawyers. They'll tear this case apart." Marcus stood abruptly. "I can't let you do that. This isn't your problem. You're my friend." Victoria shouted, then stopped, looking surprised at her own outburst. More quietly, "You're my friend, Marcus. And Lily? Lily matters to me. Do you understand? She matters." The raw emotion in her voice stopped Marcus cold. He saw it then. Victoria wasn't just helping out of kindness. She was fighting for Lily the way she couldn't fight for Emma. She was protecting the child she could still save. "Okay," Marcus whispered. "Okay, thank you." The battle began in earnest. Diane showed up at Lily's school, trying to check her out early. Marcus's lawyers blocked it, but Lily came home confused and upset. "Mommy was there today," she told Marcus, her voice small. "She said she wants me to live with her now. In a big house with a pool." Marcus's heart shattered. "What did you say?" "I said," Lily's eyes filled with tears. "I said I don't know her anymore. I said my home is with you." She crawled into his lap, suddenly seeming much younger than 8. "I don't want to go, Daddy. Please don't make me go." "Never," Marcus promised fiercely. "I will never let anyone take you from me. Never." But promises, he was learning, were fragile things in the face of legal systems and money. The custody hearing was scheduled for 3 weeks away. In the meantime, Diane launched a media campaign. Sob stories about the mother who'd made mistakes but wanted to make things right. She painted Marcus as obsessive, stable, using his previous financial struggles as evidence of poor judgment. Victoria fought back with equal force. She gave interviews praising Marcus's work ethic, his character, his devotion. She made it clear that Langston Industries stood behind him completely. "Why are you doing this?" Diane confronted Victoria outside the courthouse after a preliminary hearing. "He's just an employee." "This doesn't concern you." Victoria stepped closer, her voice dangerously soft. "That man in there, he's worth 10 of you. And that little girl deserves a parent who actually loves her, not one who sees her as a meal ticket or an accessory to a new perfect life." Diane's eyes narrowed. "Oh, I see. You want him. This isn't about Lily at all. This is about a child." Victoria's composure cracked. "This is about protecting someone innocent and precious because I couldn't protect mine." Her voice broke. "My daughter died, and I would give anything, everything, to have one more day with her. And you threw yours away like garbage. You don't deserve Lily." The words hung in the air, raw and devastating. Diane recovered first, her expression turning cruel. "The judge will see what I want them to see. Marcus Hayes is barely scraping by, working insane hours, leaving his child with babysitters. I can offer stability, you can offer money, Victoria corrected coldly. That's not the same thing, but as they parted, Diane smiled, because she had one more card to play, a secret she'd kept for 3 years, one that would change everything. The night before the hearing, Marcus's phone rang at midnight. Diane's voice was syrupy sweet. I'll withdraw the custody petition, she said, on one condition. What condition? You give me $2 million. Marcus laughed incredulously. I don't have $2 million, but your girlfriend does. The line went dead. Marcus stared at the phone, horror dawning. It had never been about Lily at all. It had been about money, about extortion, about exploiting a father's love for his child, and tomorrow in court everything would come to light. The courtroom was smaller than Marcus expected, colder too. He sat at the defendant's table, Victoria beside him despite his protests. Across the aisle, Diane looked perfect. Demure dress, practiced sadness, the image of a reformed mother. Her new husband, Richard, sat stoic and wealthy in an expensive suit. The judge, a severe woman in her 60s, reviewed the case files with an unreadable expression. Ms. Hayes, she began, addressing Diane, you're petitioning for full custody after a 3-year absence from your daughter's life. Can you explain this sudden interest? Diane dabbed at her eyes with a tissue. Your Honor, I made terrible mistakes. I was young, overwhelmed, suffering from undiagnosed postpartum depression. I ran when I should have stayed, but I've gotten help. I'm stable now, remarried, and I want to give my daughter the life she deserves. Marcus's lawyer stood. Your Honor, the petitioner disappeared without warning, emptied joint bank accounts, and never once contacted her daughter in 3 years. No calls, no birthday cards, no child support. This sudden custody claim coincides suspiciously with Dr. Hayes' recent career advancement. Objection. Diane's lawyer shot up. My client's motivations are not on trial. Actually, Victoria said quietly, standing. They are. The judge frowned. Ms. Langston, you're not listed as counsel. I'm not. I'm a witness. Victoria's voice was steady, but Marcus saw her hands trembling. And I have evidence relevant to this case. She pulled out her phone, connected it to the courtroom's projection system. Marcus's midnight phone call appeared on screen, audio file time-stamped and verified. Play it, the judge ordered. Diane's voice filled the courtroom. I'll withdraw the custody petition, on one condition. You give me $2 million. The room erupted. Diane went pale. Her lawyer scrambled. Richard stared at his wife in horror. This is extortion, Victoria said calmly. Ms. Hayes never wanted custody. She wanted money. She's been using her daughter as leverage to exploit Dr. Hayes' promotion and his connection to me. The judge's expression hardened. Is this true, Ms. Hayes? Diane stammered. It was taken out of context. It's a recorded phone call, the judge said icily. There is no context that makes extortion acceptable. Your Honor, Marcus's lawyer pressed, we also have testimony from Lily's teachers, pediatrician, and therapist. All confirm that Dr. Hayes has been an exemplary parent. Lily is thriving under his care. She's happy, healthy, and deeply bonded with her father. Removing her from his custody would be psychologically damaging. The judge turned to Marcus. Dr. Hayes, do you have anything to add? Marcus stood on shaking legs. He thought of Lily that morning, making him pancakes, burnt but made with love, telling him she believed in him. He thought of every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every moment he'd chosen her over everything else. Your Honor, he said quietly, I don't have a mansion or a pool. I can't give my daughter designer clothes or expensive vacations. But I can give her love. Consistency. A father who will always show up. His voice strengthened. I've been there for every scraped knee, every bad dream, every triumph and disappointment. I know her favorite color changed from pink to purple last month. I know. She's scared of thunderstorms but brave about doctor appointments. I know her. He met Diane's eyes across the courtroom. And she doesn't know you. Because you chose not to be known. Silence. The judge removed her glasses, studying both parents. I've seen many custody cases. Most are complicated, with valid arguments on both sides. She paused. This is not one of those cases. Marcus's heart stopped. Custody remains fully with Dr. Marcus Hayes. Ms. Hayes's petition is denied. Furthermore, I'm issuing a restraining order preventing Ms. Hayes from contacting the minor child without Dr. Hayes's explicit written consent. The gavel came down. This court is adjourned! Marcus collapsed into his chair, unable to breathe. Victoria grabbed his hand, squeezing hard, her own eyes wet. You won, she whispered. You won. Diane fled the courtroom, her lawyer and humiliated husband trailing behind. She didn't look back. Not even once. Outside, Marcus found Lily waiting with Victoria's assistant. She'd insisted on being nearby, though Victoria had spared her from being in the courtroom. Daddy? Her voice was so small, so scared. Marcus scooped her into his arms, holding her like she might disappear. You're staying with me, Lily Bear, forever. No one's taking you anywhere. She cried into his shoulder, relief, joy, fear releasing all at once. I was so scared. I know, baby, I know. But it's over now. Victoria watched them, her expression soft and aching. Marcus reached out, pulling her into the embrace. She stiffened, then melted. One arm around Lily, one around Marcus. Thank you, Marcus whispered against Victoria's hair, for fighting for us. Thank you, Victoria replied, for reminding me what family means. 6 months later, the aquarium was packed with families, but Marcus and Lily had found a quiet corner by the jellyfish exhibit. Lily pressed her face against the glass, mesmerized by the glowing, drifting creatures. They're so peaceful, she breathed. Like they don't have a care in the world, Marcus agreed. Victoria appeared beside them, holding 3 ice cream cones. Thought you might want these before they melt. Lily grabbed hers with a huge grin. Thanks, Miss Victoria. She'd dropped the formal title months ago, around the time Victoria had started joining them for pizza Fridays, then Saturday park visits, then Sunday morning pancakes. The progression had been natural, inevitable, like water finding its level. As Lily wandered to the next exhibit, Victoria and Marcus stood side by side watching her. She asked me something yesterday, Victoria said quietly. What? If I might want to be her mom someday. Marcus's breath caught. What did you say? I said. Victoria's voice trembled. I said I would be honored, if that's what you both wanted. Marcus turned to face her fully. Over the past months, something had grown between them, built on shared pain, mutual respect, and the slow recognition that brokenness doesn't mean unlovable. That starting over isn't betraying what came before. Victoria Langston, Marcus said softly. Are you asking me on a date? She laughed, eyes bright. I'm asking if you'd consider more than dates, eventually, when we're ready. Because Lily isn't the only one who's become important to me. Marcus cupped her face, thumb brushing her cheek. We're already family. Have been for a while. I think we're just finally admitting it. Their kiss was gentle, tentative, full of promise. Daddy's kissing Miss Victoria. Lily's delighted shriek echoed through the aquarium, followed by applause from nearby families. Marcus and Victoria broke apart, laughing, both blushing. Lily ran back, throwing her arms around both their legs. Does this mean she's staying? Lily asked hopefully. Victoria knelt down, eye level with the little girl who'd helped heal her shattered heart. If you'll have me. Forever? Forever, Victoria promised. Marcus pulled them both close, overwhelmed by gratitude for second chances, for courage in dark moments, for the unexpected ways life rebuilds itself. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is keep going when everything falls apart. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes or carry weapons. They wear janitor uniforms and carry cleaning supplies. They sleep 3 hours a night and still show up for parent-teacher conferences. They sacrifice their dreams so their children can have theirs. And sometimes when you've lost everything, the universe sends you a CEO who understands loss, a little girl who believes in you, and a chance to start over. Marcus Hayes walked into that boardroom as a janitor, but he walked out as something far more important: a father, a friend, and eventually, someone who learned that love doesn't replace what you've lost. It just teaches you that your heart is bigger than you ever imagined, big enough to hold both grief and joy, big enough to start again.